want to wish him a very good rest. We normally say that may his soul rest in peace. The presidential campaigns are still running throughout the country. We have seen a number of presidential candidates traversing through our country, Uganda. But the most eye-catching event was the presidential candidate of the Forum for Democratic Change, Nandala Mafabi, where he came and said that he's not in Katemba. He's not doing comedy because many people thought that if not President Museveni and Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, the rest are doing comedy. So Nandala Mafabi said that he's not in Katemba, he's on a serious business. And others are still going through, traversing the country, doing their campaigns. We want to wish them the very best. In studios, we have a great team, and I want to welcome Sifa Safi once again. Happy to have you again on the big seat. I welcome you to say hi to the listeners as we start off the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Serapio. Good morning, my fellow panelists, and good morning, our dear listeners. Of course, it's been quite a while, and there's been a lot throughout this week, but we'll not dwell so much into that. But I want to specifically highlight on the issue of the doctor Nyantonde, who allegedly asked for a bribe from a patient in order for him to treat her. Good enough, people, the authorities swiftly arrested him, and it is not just in the Antoni, it's not just that case that we saw, but a lot of these things are happening in government health facilities, with some doctors even having to part with some money to change one's cannula, they're called cannulas or whatever, or even to come and ask you what exactly the problem is, you have to pay some money. And while we are saying that infrastructure, hospitals, health facilities in this country, if something is not done to do with the mess in the hospitals, then we'll not achieve what we want. And then also the fact that Ukraine has not succeeded in getting missiles from US. They are citing reasons that they don't want the crisis to escalate. So to me, that is another ray of hope of the people of Russia and Ukraine. And of course, I want to congratulate the people of Palestine for partially, I'm saying partially because you cannot trust Israel, for partially having some relief. Yeah, you cannot trust Israel and allies. So at least it's a ray of hope, and some people can sleep for a minute, much as we don't know what is coming next, but at least for now they are saying Alhamdulillah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sifa Safi, and thank you for joining up on the big seat. Honorable Peter Mpaka is an aspiring candidate on a ticket of National Unity platform. How far do we have very many candidates, because next week is a nomination date for the parliamentary candidates? Do we have a number of candidates in Western Uganda, specifically in Barara, that are going to be nominated next week? You're welcome. Say hi to the listeners and welcome to the big seat.
Yes, thank you so much, Uncle. And I also want to appreciate the management of Cruise FM for always giving us this time to come and discuss issues of national importance. Yeah, NUP is doing well. In the beginning, we thought it was a wave, it was a kasorora, but NUP has proved that we are here to stay. In the whole of Western Uganda, we've been able to raise about 84 aspirants from Western Uganda, and here in Mbarara, all our constituencies are filled. Mbarara City, I myself, Peter Mpaka from Mbarara City North. We have our comrade Bright Muhumza from Mbarara City South. And then we have the woman member of parliament, number 1 Irene, from somewhere there in Makenke. So we are gearing up for nominations on 22nd, and we are hoping for the best. I want to call upon foot soldiers, foot women, foot men, all comrades and advocates of change, the change that we believe in, that the time is here. Let us harvest the harvest, because the harvest is plenty. So let us as laborers also be plenty and caused this to happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Alnitwe Elia is a comrade from Forum for Democratic Change. Welcome to the big city. Say hi to the listeners.
Thank you, Uncle. My name is Arinicho Eria. I represent the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, under the stewardship of the engineer, Honorable Amriat. And our presidential candidate is the Right Honorable James Nathan Nandarama Fabi. We are on the trail. Yesterday we are in Parisa. Today we shall be in Bujiri and Namayingo. And the campaigns are going well.
Do you also confirm that you're not on comedy? Because
our candidate is a very serious candidate. Actually, is the most serious candidate.
Okay.
And our campaign is understandable to the common person because we are saying we are fixing the economy.
Okay.
Uncle, you know the problem of Uganda now, all the problems of Uganda are economic. Uganda now is not threatened by war, but by economics.
Okay.
Even the insecurity we have is due to economics. So we are fixing the economy and we shall have money in our pockets. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome to the big seat. With me here is Mr. Tukwatanise Musa, is the assistant RDC Rwampara district and from the Mighty Party National Resistance Movement. Mr. Musa, welcome to the big seat.
You, Comrade Serapio, I'm happy for the statement from the Mighty Party. God bless you for that. And first of all, I want to greet my comrades in the studio and to our dear listeners. And I also want to add a voice to condole with our brothers and sisters in Kenya for the death of a patriot, a democrat, a person of his person who has fought for democracy and who has fought to see where Kenya is now. I want to quote from what happened in 1984. Raila Odinga was in prison in 1984, and during that time his mother died while in the prison. No, the prison wardens did not inform him about the death of his mother, and so his mother was buried when he was not even aware. After 7 months he got out of the prison, and later on the person who had put him in prison, Moi, he started working with him for the good of Kenya. So you can imagine the scenario of losing a mother and you are not even informed, you have not buried her because of someone, then later on you start working with that person for the interest of Kenya. So I credit him for being that patriot that has been fronting politics of interest ahead of individual politics, sectarian politics, tribal politics, such stuff. So we credit him, and as Africa, we have lost a Pan-Africanist of a person of Raila Odinga. And also, I want also to join my brothers and sisters in Rwampara to condole with them for the loss of Assistant Cow, Jordan. He has been a patriot there, has served well. Everyone who is talking about him really has been a patriot.
Okay.
And we are burying him today. May Jordan's soul rest in peace.
Amen.
And also on another political note, I want to congratulate the Patriotic League of Uganda for setting the coordination team across the country. The NRM Secretariat requested the Patriotic League of Uganda to submit the coordination team that will aid on the mobilization for our president. Our set target is to ensure His Excellency the President gets 85%, and which is realistic. And so when we see forces coming together, the Patriotic League of Uganda setting coordination right from districts, every district has a minimum of 2 coordinators who have been instructed to go and set coordinators at village level. And so the target is realistic. I want to congratulate PRU and also congratulate our national vice chairman, Chairman Wajira Michael Toyota, who has been at the forefront of all this to ensure that the vision of our Supreme Leader General Moses Kainerugaba of ensuring PRU is vibrant has been realistic and has been achieved.
Okay.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. I think we shall also get time to discuss about PLU in detail, because I think you have some good news behind your agenda. Lastly, here with me is Mr. Mugisha Celestine from the Alliance for National Transformation. Are you done? The flag bearer, General Mugisha Muntu, I think he was in Western tour. I saw him somewhere in Western Uganda, and I want you to tell us how far with the Alliance National Transformation presidential candidate General Mugisha Muntu. How far with the campaigns and where he has reached so far. Welcome to the big seat.
Thank you very much, Uncle Serapio. To the listeners and my fellow panelists, I salute you all. My name, as already mentioned, is Mugisha Tatina Celestine from Barara City North, and a member and a cadre of the Alliance for National Transformation. Just like you have requested me to enlighten the listeners on how the trail, especially in our camp, is going on. True, General was in Ankole in the early days of the month. That is from 2nd to 9th of this month. He was in Ankole. We campaigned in 6 districts in Ankole, and we are left with 7.
Okay.
But right around now, he's in Uganda. This week he started the week with visiting Greater Masaka. But yesterday he was in Mubende and Mitiana. Today is in Bulisa and Chankwanzi. And then tomorrow he will be moving elsewhere. So he is moving, and like you said, you mentioned, he is. You spotted him somewhere.
Yeah.
Just like others are spotting him. I don't know how others are doing it, but for him, he's being able to, by the grace of God, to go as far as sub-counties.
Okay.
Mostly, he makes stopovers in different sub-counties, whereby he's able to connect with the people at that very level, not waiting to bring different masses in one place. And then, of course, we as ANT, we don't have the capacity to transport the masses for one gathering.
Okay.
But at least we have been able to reach at different levels, and the main point in it is that to carry the message that resonates with the people.
Okay.
And that is how he is managing, and that is how he's been able to go through this campaign trail since the 2nd of October to date.
Okay.
And we are glad and grateful that the message is sinking.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's do this. We are returning back shortly. 91.2 Cruise FM.
Fanango people, story time. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. 24 minutes past the hour of 9. We're here with a big team, and we are going to discuss a few issues today. But later on, you will be joining the discussion via our studio lines on 0752 912 912 or 0780 912 910, and through our socials, Facebook 91.2 Cruise FM, X or Twitter 912 Cruise FM. We are on Instagram 91.2 Cruise FM. On Cruise TV, we are live courtesy of Creative Media. Want to appreciate the team, Bright and Sankala and the other members of Creative Media for linking us well with our listeners outside there. Today, we want to look into previously the National Unity Platform had declared very well that they are not going to involve themselves in the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, or IPOD. But just of recent, they agreed and decided to join the movement of the IPOD. We are asking ourselves today, is this challenging your principles? Allow me begin with Mr. Mpaka. Luckily enough, you're from National Unity Platform. Is this decision challenging your primary principles to join the IPOD? Previously, you had challenged that it has nothing to do with your principles.
Yeah, in a way, it challenges our principles. But the most important thing to note is that the real change that Ugandans need is powered by the will of the people and not state money. Now, IPOD per se, in 2020 and 2021, or even the years before, was operating as an NGO in Uganda and had no law backing it up. So it wasn't a statutory institution operating in Uganda. It was an NGO. And our main principle in denying joining IPOD was we cannot join IPOD because it's operating, it's not statutory.
Okay.
There is no law backing it up. It's simply operating like a church, like a community-based organization that is there. And also most importantly is that President Museveni had conveniently chose to be part of that NGO. Yet there was other statutory bodies providing platforms within which political parties can have a conversation or can have a dialogue. And one of those one of the main ones, actually the main one, is the National Consultative Forum. So all political parties operating in Uganda must have representation on the National Consultative Forum. And in 2020, our nominated candidate or representative on the National Consultative Forum was our late Vice President, Madam Jole Mugisha,
yes,
from Western Uganda. Most of you know her, who passed on last year around September. And now, when she passed on, the party appointed another son of ours from Igala East called Benjamin Katana. Council Benjamin Katana represents us on the NCF.
Okay.
So the denial of NUP has always been on principle. Not this propaganda we hear on the street. Now you want the money, because I can tell the listener that because we belong to the NCF, we have been getting money from Electoral Commission.
Okay.
Actually, NUP as in the last 2 years has received about 21 billion from the Electoral Commission to help it fund its party activities. That's why we are able to have country tours. That's why by the president. Well, that's why. No. Let him write. Let him write. He will give me his guidance later.
Yes,
that's why we have been able to build to open regional party offices. That's why we have district committees in all districts in Uganda. That's why we have been able to do so many other, because the NUP has been receiving funding because it belongs to the National Consultative Forum. It has representation, therefore it has members of parliament, therefore it has been getting money from the EC.
Okay.
So now comes the law, the parties, political parties Organizations Act amendment of last year, 2025, I think, brought by the Kitugum woman member of parliament, Faith Nakut. So the law says, we want you to belong to IPOD.
Yes.
Now, in the NCF, what they did, in that law, they create 2 departments. They create 2 departments. Because they were dying to statutarize IPOD. They said now IPOD is going to be a department of those political parties that have representation in parliament. And if you want to have access to the money you've been getting from the Electoral Commission, you must belong to this department.
Okay.
Then they said there is also another department under NC. Actually, they haven't even given it a clear name. But they said it is the political parties that are non-represented. They also said that department is there. So for parties like ANT, for parties like CP, for parties like Onowosani Ayaze, for them they will be belonging to that department, which doesn't have maybe if Common Man's Party gets or ANT this time gets, they will now also come and join, move from the other department and now move to this big department.
Okay.
So our argument as NUP is that we want to tell our listeners and our supporters that for us, we are fighting for change, not for money. And actually, NUP is being strategic in accepting to join IPOD now. Because if we go for an election and we get new MPs, maybe 100 of them, and we are still saying we cannot belong to IPOD, it means that even 2026 onwards, we will not be getting funding to do our party activities, and the party will be crippled. So this street talk of now you have accepted to sit with the dictator, there is a laughable words that I was seeing from one of our colleagues, our senior citizen, the Minister of Justice, Norbert Mao, that NUP now...
You actually put him on a spotlight.
That now you see, Bari Bagamba, we can't sit with the dictator, now Bari Bagamba, we cannot eat Museveni's banzi and mandazi, but now they are here coming. No, that is not the principle. The principle is, according to the Constitution of Uganda, political parties must be funded as per the number of MPs they have. So even if we refuse and say we don't want this year's money, but next year is coming and the other years are coming, and still the IPOD law will be there to hang in our necks.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ndugu Peter. Assistant Aladis, you had a submission concerning Peter Mpaka's submission.
Yes, I called it guidance.
Okay.
Because I want us to, first of all, understand the National Consultative Forum, then the IPOD, then the whole thing. IPOD, National Consultative Forum, as per se, every party as long as it is registered, qualifies to be a member of the National Consultative Forum by law. And 2, every party has to have a representative on the National Consultative Forum.
Okay.
However, what is the case with the IPOD here? IPOD says now every party that is registered and has representation in parliament has to benefit from the funds, the 35 billions government gives to the for these parties to mobilize and all that. And the 35 billions are divided into this. We have the 15% of the 35 billions goes to the administration of the IPOD. Then the 15% of the 35 billions goes to the administration of parties, all parties. Then now the 70% goes to a party with the number of your MPs. The higher the numbers, the more the money.
Yes.
So here now, after passing this law, you know, Bob Wine sang 2 songs. Now, Bob Wine sang 2 songs.
Yes.
You see, the politics of Bob Wine are all embedded in his music. He sang the first song called Chiwan. Nti Chiwan. Everybody can fake around. And so, when you listen to that song, you come to know that really Bob Wine is Kusibachiwan, Devana Uganda. Another song he sang was Mr. Money. That man made money, but money made man mad. Now here, the IPOD, joining IPOD, or not joining IPOD, does not stop any political party from running its activities. It only limits a party from getting funds. I think that's very clear, comrades here. IPOD, whether you are a member of IPOD or not, the law does not take away your rights to go to Ugandans and rally your support.
Okay.
The law does not stop you from engaging the public. However, the law is clear that if you are not a member of IPOD, you are not going to receive this funding from government. Why was it put like that? Because IPOD was formed purposely to have dialogue, to ensure that irrespective of our political affiliations, we can always come on board, agree to disagree, but put national interests forward. FDC has a manifesto, NUP has a manifesto, JEMA has a manifesto, every person, every party has a manifesto. And we believe as NRM, however much we are going to defeat these people in 2026. But still, if we can come together in IPOD, they bring their manifestos, we incorporate them into our manifesto. We move Uganda forward. Because what is important here is Uganda as a nation, not FDC, not NUP. But now you see, when all this happened, the principal Chagoranyi, Chuan, said that no, we cannot associate with this. First of all, we cannot associate with a dictator. Secondly, we cannot associate with evil money. That's how we even termed it. Shortly after, they are writing letters to say, Chetwari mutwari tusibachuani, kati, let's join. Secondly, when you...
Okay. Yes.
To come here and call a presidential candidate who garnered 35 million votes, Chuan, I already said that NUP has been receiving money from the Electoral Commission. So stop blackmailing us that we don't want to associate ourselves with money. How will you mobilize? You want us to mobilize when you don't have funding?
Okay. Yes.
I think my brother is getting lost somewhere on trying to paint something that is...
Is what I've said true or false? That's what I wanted first. According to the law, is what I've said true or false?
That's what I'm trying to clarify.
Okay.
Just listen. The first important thing that we need to all appreciate is that IPOD has not been created today. it has been in existence
for many years.
And there has been but government has never been comfortable with some of the players in IPOD, including FDC.
Yes.
Which was a member of IPOD, which was participating in IPOD. IPOD has activities. Listeners need to appreciate that IPOD has different activities. It has a summit. It has meetings of the secretary generals of the different parties and all that. Now, some of the parties, including FDC, were participating in some activities and not participating in others. Which are those others they were not participating in? The summit.
Yes.
With the heads of the parties.
The parties, yes.
That they were never participating. Nonetheless, they would still receive funding for their membership.
Yes.
Because the law at the time required that whenever you have representation in parliament, you are entitled to the funding. That's what the law was.
Okay.
And therefore, whether you participate in all activities or not, you would still be funded. Now, government, we need to appreciate this, and this is where my clarification comes in. Government was never comfortable with that because they wanted these people to participate in all activities, including the summit.
Yes.
Here comes a situation where now FDC is off the leader of opposition. Now we have NUP. NUP follows suit, behaves the same way FDC was behaving before. And this itches the government the bad way. And now they are like, now we have to find a way out of this. The National Consultative Forum, which my brother talks about, is true. It allows all political parties as long as you are registered.
Okay.
But when it comes to funding, IPOD restricts the funding. However, government is not happy that those people who are receiving funding are not participating in the summit, which is the apex of the activities of the IPOD activities. So they had to form a new law, but maybe before the new law comes in, before the amendment. IPOD was a dialogue indeed, which was bringing together the parties by way of a memorandum of understanding. Now, that is legal, but it is not a law in itself. So the amendment that establishes IPOD was the law that establishes IPOD was amended to the effect that they compel whoever is a member of IPOD or whoever is receiving funding from IPOD should participate in all activities. Short of which, then the funding is cut off. Now they made a law clear that binds now. Actually, to be a member of IPOD, it is no longer just a question of a memoranda of understanding, but now it is a legal requirement. Yes. Now that's where the difference comes in. That whereas IPOD existed right from for some many years, it was just a memorandum of understanding that compelled people to work together. But this time around, in May this year, not very long ago, the law was amended to the effect that now it is a legal requirement for one to be a member, to compel you to be a member of IPOD and participate in all activities for you to receive funding.
Yes.
Now, here is NUP, which was a member of IPOD, but was never participating in the summit, and yet was receiving funding. This law catches up with them. And then at this point, they are like, okay, there is a new law that compels us to be part of what we are not interested in. And you know it very well that not all law is always good for the citizen, or is good for whoever it is meant for. But when it is law, that is law. You cannot do anything about it. In this case, NUP is challenging the law, but in the meantime, before it challenges it, it has to adhere to the law. Okay. And therefore, for me, it does not surprise me that NUP has now had to adhere to the new law, because that is a new law in place.
Okay. No, my brother, my argument is because these establishments of these parties, we know how they are established, we know how they run activities. I want these brothers to guide the audience, and tell us if if there is any law that binds a party from running its activities, or if IPOD binds the party from its activities other than funds.
Okay.
This is what we have already said. Let me say something here. Thank you, Celestine, Honorable Celestine. But let me answer what Musa Tukwatanise has just said. That this is what we have always been said in the participation of the politics in Uganda. That President Museveni says competitors come. We are going to run this race. After you have come, he binds you the legs, he binds you the arms, and then he says, let us compete. And then he says, I am the winner. Now, if you take away funding, how do you want the political parties to operate?
Oh, okay.
Now, on that very matter, we all agree that NUP joined IPOD because of funds, not any other reason.
Let me welcome Sifa. Sifa, you have had the discussion. Is this change based on the money, on the funding, or NUP has its own political agenda?
Thank you so much, and thank you to my colleagues for their submissions. Of course, you see, there are certain things you cannot run away from. As much as you try to, shape a particular image to your satisfaction or to your interest, it might refuse to be the same. For example, when we talk about NUP, for example, with the IPOD, if you know why IPOD was incorporated, for example, we know we all know this. They have mentioned some of them, and these include, for example, bringing these political parties to understand better ways of democracy, for example. And you say you're a political party in Uganda and you call yourselves the biggest opposition political party, and you don't see the interest and the meaning and the use of being into IPOD, then you don't know what you're doing. That is not politics. Every time, every day they cry of democracy in the country. There is no democracy and all that. But you know that one of the reasons why this thing was incorporated in 2021 is because they wanted to promote democracy. So what is that about? Then also, they know that it's about institutional strengthening. You will not strengthen your institutions as political parties when you're not part of IPOD. So it wasn't put there just for the sake of it. And like Norbert Mao was saying, Honorable Norbert Mao, with due respect, I just saluted him for that. He said that some of these people should stop their pride and arrogance and the ego. These things do not work in certain instances. For example, if you stand up and say that those people who joined IPOD just wanted photo moments with President Museveni, and at the same time you're joining it, what does it mean? If I were you, if I were the leaders, I would say I'm not joining IPOD, come rain, come sunshine. But now you're joining. What does it mean? Just politics za Uganda. That is one. But then also, Mr. Moderator, they have talked of discrimination all through. Yes. Discrimination, President Museveni and his party. But one of the reasons IPOD was put in place is to cater for these things like discrimination. Inclusive politics. You're not a member of IPOD. What are you talking about? You're not unique, you're not special. You have to be part of IPOD if you want to bring politics of this country to modern standards. That is one of them. But now again, I want to tell you, what was there? Some of these people, women for example, no joto na divorcing na kwanga tinchi kwendo tamburo jenda. Kwanga wokuza kuwa ngo mushiza waguzi report somewhere. Hata ugaruka leka tugaruka neka tutense chimanchi maisa ngudu wagaruwa maka wagaruwa kaka proto mushiza kaguziri. That's exactly what you're just representing in this country.
Ngoka yaburo jenda.
Nakojiro kuwakabaza kwa yeze kaya buro jenda. But you forgetting when abana you have chip. That's the one Musa was talking about, Mr. Radisi. So for you had your time, Peter. And I don't think you have something important to add on what I'm saying.
Okay.
So for me, Mr. Moderator, I want to tell these listeners out there, there are people who are yearning for change. Genuinely, they are there. But these people you are following, the so-called leaders, representatives, but some are not somewhere and laughed at these people who are supporting NUP and the whole process of IPOD and all that. Someone said that if you want to know the number one support of President Museveni, it is Kyagulanyi. And those of you who are thinking that you support Kyagulanyi, you are just following him blindly. And I think this is true. Because by the way, for a good leader, Mr. Moderator, you have to be a dictator somewhere, somehow. I don't know if people are getting what I'm saying. This is in quotes. No dictatorship that whatever you say has to come in place. But somewhere, somehow, if you know where you're leading your people to, that's what it should be. So for me, like Mr. Mao said, Mr. Kyagulanyi thinks he's involving his people to be participants in this whole process of IPOD and whatever, so that he listens to some of the voices that are not necessary. I think some of these people told him, you know what, let us not join IPOD, and they thought they are going to attract international attention. But this time around, he has, I think, come back to his senses and thought, I mean, we are not part of politics in this country, let us join IPOD. So for me as a leader, before you come up with a decision, first think of, not just for today, but even for tomorrow and the coming years. Now, if I were a support of NUP, if I was following Robert Chagulanyi, I would sit down and think twice. Because I mean, there is nothing serious there. Today you say one thing, tomorrow you say another. But then again, in relation to the campaigns, if you are following them, wherever they are going, what they are preaching to these people, you can still think that even if we say today is a voting day, the winner is already known. Much as some people think when you say that, they think you're planning to rig and here and there, but I've not mentioned any name here. When you relate to these things of IPOD, when you relate them to the campaigns, to the campaign trails of all these political parties, when you hear the words of these candidates, Mr. Moderator, you really see who is fit to lead this country. I mean, even the chairman of the Electoral Commission came out and said some of these candidates are using words that are sectarian, are using words that can incite violence in this country. But when you sit here and listen to yourself, who do you think he was talking about? And I liked his style because he did not come out to say so and so. Because they are going to say, already you're biased. You are not going to trust your results. He was very tactical, and I think he's very, very competent for this position. So for me, I want to call upon Ugandans. Let us not just listen to these people for the sake of it. Let us not just see the crowds and the numbers, but let's listen to the stories and the things these people have to offer us. So I want to talk about also the issue of human rights in this country. We are all fighting for that. Release Dr. Besigye, do this. There are some people who are behind bars for years and they are supporters of NUP. But the only way we can ensure that there is human rights, the human rights are being observed in this country, is by political parties to be part of IPOD. And I don't know why these people did not know that all this while. And they call themselves the biggest opposition party in the country. IPOD caters for all these things, including human rights, like I've just said. Where were they? How much were they sleeping not to realize that political parties had to join IPOD? You know, then there is another issue of good governance. Of course, my friend Peter here was trying to confuse the listeners by trying to relate IPOD to their this other, it's called National Consultative. These are different, and they have different reasons why they were put in place. But at the end of the day, as a political party, you have to be part of it, and you know that. So for me, I'm so happy with some of these political parties that came up. Zikijazilisia konka zajezo kweleka nupungu politics zabo bakazijabura. They should have taken time to understand the trend of politics in this country. So much as the National Consultative Council allows every registered political party to be a member, but it does not play the role of IPOD. Meaning what? You cannot join one and think you will not join the other.
Okay.
So at least they have tried to come up, they have woken up. If it was because at one point they will find themselves there.
Okay.
Conquer, for me, I think we should have gone way far from these petty issues. So what? President Museveni has taken these photos with different people, dignitaries from international standards and levels. So you should look much far from just as a political party and as a person who thinks he has captured attention from here and there, from the youth and all that. You should know that you're trying to work for the country and for the people who support you, but not work for Museveni or punish him. Therefore, if you think you're going to start a political party, actually now, if you asked me, even this so-called Mugatugwa Bata is much better than this is Mr. Munyagwa. Because when you go somewhere, he tells these people his manifesto. I want to ensure that these foreigners who are here illegally are taken back to their countries. Such things, so someone can have time to listen. But when you come and you have time and you're campaigning, you start telling people this and that, you're bouncing here and that, the extent that you can fall off the then for me, I mean, you're not doing good.
Okay.
Yeah. What I'm saying,
yes.
What I'm saying, Mr. Peter, whether you know the truth is very bitter. It itches so much. So for me, Mr. Moderator, some of these things are not created for the sake of it. If they say there is an organization or there is something that unites, for example, panelists, or for example, it unites moderators, then if you refuse to be part of it, give genuine reasons for people to understand. But if you just do it for the sake of, you want to show your ego and all that, it will not make sense.
Okay.
Uganda is bigger and political parties are bigger than their leaders.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me first give a chance to Mr. Eria. Do you think joining IPOD covers something great in these coming elections, because it's like a contradiction. You previously say we are not doing this, and now it comes back on the table.
But inconsistency in politics is normal.
Yes.
Everyone has been inconsistent, including President Museveni. Has been inconsistent on very many things.
Examples.
No, I'm not saying examples, but you all know.
Yes.
What do you feel?
Anyway, far from that, I've listened to all, and I like the submission of Celestine. He gave a good guidance. I am a member of FDC.
Okay.
FDC was a founder member of IPOD. I think in 2009, I stand to be corrected. That's when they started IPOD. But the issue of funding was not there until 2014. And what was the spirit behind the funding of political parties? A political party is a public entity. And if a political party is not funded, it can get funding from a terrorist organization, for example, or an enemy government from a foreign country. So that was the spirit behind the funding. And I sympathize with Peter and the NUP, because they are between a rock and hard press. And we have been there before. Because ever since IPOD began, we have founder members as FDC. And as Celestine guided, IPOD has very many activities. Youth League, Women's League, Secretary Generals. We are being involved in all of that. But the apex, where the heads of parties had to meet, that one would not go there. But you would still get the funding. And part of the reason why we are not going for that meeting of heads of parties is it looks funny to be seen with the President Museveni. You know, President Museveni is a bully. Even in IPOD, where they are all heads of parties, when they come, for him he has to arrive late, and then you have to line up and receive him, and then you
because he still holds the position of the president.
We are not comfortable with that until we reach the point where actually this week I was in Sinjiro. I don't know what informed that kind of nomenclature, but it looks to me like someone who was in a marriage they don't like, and then until she said, okay, let me know. So we reached the point, and we said, let's not pretend.
Okay.
We went to IPOD, and now we are attending the summit.
Okay.
You are married?
No, we are not married, but we stopped pretending. Actually, the last summit of the presidents of parties were there.
Okay.
And now the NUP was all over. That morning I received like 10 messages from people of the NUP saying, now you see, you were saying you didn't eat, now you see. You were there lined up to receive President Museveni. And so, before a week elapsed, I saw Rubongo Yazireta. So you people, you're also going to line up and receive him. Actually, I want the next summit to be in State House, and I see how you would go there. Okay. but aside of that,
yes,
IPOD is a good cause. I support IPOD because IPOD stands for dialogue, and we need dialogue in this country. We need dialogue on many things. These people have been here celebrating the death of Honorable Raila Odinga. He's the champion in that.
Yes.
All the times he has contested against the government, he has still found a way of working with the government, even when he didn't like them. So we need IPOD in this country, and the NUP should come and join IPOD fully. Don't mind about the words, but we need you in IPOD. Actually, we need you more than these other parties, because the NUP. Yes. The NUP. Now let's talk politics.
Okay. As founders, I think it's like IPOD has lost meaning, because the founder members who are there, it's like they have left FDC. Maybe the vision bearers.
No, actually, because they formed a new party and it has not been admitted. But you wait, they will also be there. You cannot miss that kind of funding from IPOD. But my point was, before I conclude, I want to conclude. But before you conclude, I want to end with a point. You know, let me now speak politics.
Yes.
The NUP is needed in the IPOD,
yes,
for dialogue reasons. Because we may pretend, you know, me, I don't like NUP, and I've been telling Peter, I don't like NUP because they are not good. But we have to be realistic. The NUP and Robert Chagulanyi, this guy has four major constituencies. One is Uganda, the most populated region in the country. Another one is the Baganda, the biggest tribe. Another one, the youth, which is the largest demographic part of our population. And the fourth, people don't want to hear, is the Catholic Church, the biggest religion in the country. So you cannot wish away. You cannot be on the table, on a negotiation table, without such a candidate.
Okay.
So Peter, you come to IPOD and be there properly so that we negotiate for this country. You have to be there.
Okay. No. Let's first get into a very short commercial break. We are going to return very shortly, and we continue with our discussion. This is Cruise FM. The big seat is
Sunday Love.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM, Western Uganda's biggest radio station. 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. We have 5 minutes past the hour of 10, and the Big Seat is becoming hot here. We are still looking at IPOD. Later on, we shall be receiving some of your calls through 0752912912, 0780912910, and through our social media platforms. Drop in your comment or question. We shall be reading it here live in the studios. Also, we are live on Cruise TV on our YouTube channel. Just go there. You can also drop in your comment. We shall be reading it live here in studios, courtesy of Creative Media. Want to appreciate them for bringing us live to the world. Assistant RDC, this issue we need to conclude it, and then we look at something else. You had a submission?
Yes. On IPOD. IPOD, a platform for dialogue, has already benefited the country. It is important to note that when you see Mao, a member of the Democratic Party, DP, in the executive arm of government as a cabinet minister for justice and constitutional affairs, with his sharp brains guiding here and there on the legal affairs of the nation, really, that score goes to IPOD. After IPOD creating a platform for dialogue, it's when we had such brains come to cabinet. After having IPOD on ground, it's when we saw a wife to the UPC president, Beta Mong, coming to cabinet as a statement, as a full minister for gender. And so today we have 2 ministers, members of the executive. We have Honorable Rusa Cheng, Minister for Health. We have Honorable Beta Mong, Minister for Gender. All of them are competing in one constituency, one on NRM ticket, one on UPC ticket. And as NRM, we could not say Beta Mong step down for this one, because NRM gives UPC a platform to express its interest. It's an independent political party, and so it has to feel its presence as a party. So IPOD as a platform has created a dialogue platform which is now benefiting the country. That's why I said from the beginning, NUP has an agenda, though which I doubt. FDC has an agenda, aren't the same. If we come into IPOD and dialogue, really we bring that together. We believe we can build a country, Uganda, where we all want to be. And I want us to benchmark from our friend here, our neighbor Kenya. We saw everybody is crediting Raila Odinga. I've given you a scenario where in 1984 he lost a mother, but he was in prison because of Moi. He was not informed that his mother died. Neither did he bury the mother. After 7 months he was released from the prison. He had to dialogue with Moi, and they came together to start working for the interest and good of Kenya. Even we saw it in 2007 when he saw things were getting out of hand. He said, Kenya is bigger than me as Raila Odinga. Kenya is bigger than any other of us. Let's sit down, dialogue, and work for the good of Kenya. That's how even he became a prime minister of Kenya.
Okay.
So if NUP can look at NUP beyond just individual interests of let's go to IPOD and get the 7 billions and eat. Let's go to IPOD and do this. Let's go to Ugandans and solicit money, like today I've seen on their X handle.
Yes.
They have started a fundraising. They want people to contribute. If they are not looking at the party in that angle of stealing from Ugandans, stealing from what, they look at it as serving Uganda. They will even know that even when President Museveni has won you, he's not your enemy. You still have the platform to come, sit, dialogue, and bring what you think can benefit this country. You incorporate it into what the NRM government is doing, so that for the good of the country, we all benefit. I thank you.
Thank you. Okay, in a minute.
In a minute, yes. IPOD is good, like we have all said, and I don't think NUP hates IPOD that much, but they just did not want to like bring it in the limelight, in the public domain, for purposes of accountability and all that. That is why they have been accepting some of this money. They don't hate it, but they just wanted to join informally till the secretary for IPOD, Dr. Lawrence, told them to write. So for me, they like it. They know the importance of IPOD, but they just did not want to do it publicly. And we all know that there are differences politically in this country, which is healthy, which is clear, which is just like any other country, but these differences have to be sorted. The only way we can do that is through IPOD, so that we can use democratic means for the good of Ugandans and Uganda at large. So they should join. We all support it. They should join. They should stop, like I said, the ego and the pride should just be put aside.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sifa Safi. I would request that we look into briefly the nomination, the presidential rallies that are coming up. you had something. Okay, Mr. Mpaka, you conclude.
Yes. I really want to thank the panel here for the topic well discussed. But those who are trying to say NUP has changed its positions, no. I want to emphasize Honorable Celestine's statements that it is the requirement of the new law that forces us to join IPOD or to request to join IPOD, because even if we don't join IPOD, we will have members of parliament in the new government or in the next after the election, and still the NUP will not get state funding. And maybe if the court case, because we have a court case against that law, if the court reverses the law and cancels it, then number two, and most importantly, because we didn't get NUP didn't get its IPOD share of the money this year around, or this quarter around, NUP is facing challenges nominating its candidates for MPs. Actually, I want to request the people listening to me, please, if you can, contribute and fundraise for your member of parliament nearby, or for any person that you love and whose ideas you love. Therefore, as requested by Sifa, nyenda kwegamba ho bantu mwa bampurikirize yes, akasente tinkine aka nomination, those who love my ideas, those who love my message, and I'm serious, and I have ground support because I've been doing door to door. Akasimu kanje, you can send me some small contribution what you are able to do on 0777 689692 in the names of Peter Mpaka. You can be my iPod. Thank you so much.
Pio,
yes, sir.
Let's, as we conclude on this segment, I want to say this. One, let's be kind to NUP for once. That sometimes the law can fix you in a corner, and you find yourself with no alternative but to swallow your pride. And that's what my colleague was saying. And this is the situation they are in. So for once, we can sympathize with them. That is one. Two, let's also, for the benefit of the listeners, appreciate the spirit in which IPOD was started, established. One, before IPOD, and we still have that body, we had an institution called NIMD. You know that? Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy. Actually, it is that institute. It is that institute that gave birth to IPOD. Now, The whole point of IPOD was indeed, I like my sister's submission on the point of issues of, you see, the name is dialogue.
Yes.
Dialogue. What do you dialogue on? Things that are contentious. Now, it is those things that are contentious in the country and your stakeholders. And who are these stakeholders? People who are in parliament. But you do not resolve in parliament, and you want to use a dialoguing platform. If you recall very well, my panelists, my dear panelists, this IPOD was the Honorable Amama Mbabas was at the forefront at the time of its establishment. So now, when it was started, the whole point was there are pressing issues the parties were raising towards the government that were never addressed, and there was no room for them to be addressed because in parliament they would be kind of overshadowed by the numbers.
Okay.
However, there came an opportunity that let us have a dialoguing platform and discuss these issues on a one-on-one. That was the spirit behind IPOD. So what happened, what caused some of the members of IPOD to boycott some of the activities? And this is what I would wish all of us to appreciate, that some of the issues, like rightly said, human rights concerns, like arrests and torture and whatever, all these issues in parliament, they would be brought to the floor of parliament, they would be addressed to the prime minister, and they would be overshadowed by the numbers.
Yes.
So now here was an opportunity to dialogue and have a. So whenever they would be raised in the IPOD, in the dialogue meetings, the government would commit to attend to them, address them. Nonetheless, some were never addressed. End result was some parties or some members of the IPOD said this is a game. They are playing us games. We are no longer also going to participate our participation would kind of legitimize the whole essence of IPOD, when actually the spirit of the players in IPOD is different from what it was established for. So that is the whole hura baru that is about IPOD.
Oh, okay.
Not about the money. It's about the issue. Why was it established? Has it achieved the purpose for which it was established? Some of the players feel they are not being on the discussions are not being honored to the dot as they wish, and because of that, of course, please.
Don't emphasize it's not about money.
Okay.
After all, you're not
Because you see, I'm not NUP, and I've never been NUP, and I don't know. But the point is, money is a guarantee by the law that whenever you are in parliament and you are represented as a political party, you are supposed to get that money. However, the new law has put in some strings that for you to get the money, you first have to adhere to A, B, C, D, which initially was not there. So that was my point, my conclusion of it, that listeners appreciate the background under which some of these, it's not just we are fronting money per se, but actually there are underlying issues that people are not appreciating other than money. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we pause IPOD. We pause IPOD from there. Only that we want to wish National Unity Platform a better stay, a quick recovery. Okay. Today, as these 8 presidential candidates are traversing the whole country, today in the morning, the residents of Rwanyampazi village in Bubare sub-county decided to get their hose because they had a very terrible 10-kilometer road that was in bad condition. So they got their hose and they decided to go and construct the road themselves this morning. And the residents are asking, as these presidential candidates are launching their manifestos, are talking this and that. Is this going to be achieved? As we listen to these presidential candidates' manifestos, I'm very happy that almost all the political parties here are represented. Are we going to really harvest from these manifestos? Are these manifestos going to address people's concerns? And how do we assess these campaigns so far? Let me begin with Sifa on this.
Thank you so much. I think if these people implement their manifestos the way they present them to us, we are going to harvest as Ugandans, if we are willing to, that is, and if the conditions are enabling. I want to start up with the biggest candidate now for these campaigns, and that to me is President Yoweri Museveni. When he was in, is it Terego something? I mean, yeah, he's talked of peace, and for me I've always said, and I want to insist and I want to repeat, that if you're campaigning for anything, even if it is LC1 chairperson, and you don't make mention of the word peace, and you don't explain to people how important peace is, then for me you're out of the race, because we all need peace. Even if you support President Museveni, even if you don't like him, for example, I don't support NUP, but I think even members of NUP need peace, and they have this peace, and that is why they're able to campaign. Yes, if we are to give health facilities credit, we should have peace. If we are to, have very good education systems, there must be peace and all that. I've severally given examples of the current situation now in Gaza Strip. You see what is happening there. They had money, they were not doing badly economically, but see what is happening, because there wasn't peace anywhere. You go to Ukraine and Russia, I was talking about it in my introduction here. You see what is happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo, even with all those natural resources and all that. So for me, peace is paramount, and that is what President Museveni goes around telling people. And allow me also to give credit to General Mugisha Muntu. He was, I think, in Impiji. He insisted you people need to be peaceful. You have to stay calm. You don't have to get involved in running battles with police. That was very good. And for me, I don't know why. Because if you asked me, for example, someone asked me somewhere and they said that if President Museveni woke up in the one morning and said, I'm not going to be on the ballot, who would you vote? Automatically, that would be Mugisha Muntu. Because he has the capacity, he's showing that he has the country, he puts this country first. So for me, as a candidate, if you are appealing for peace, if you're calling upon your supporters to support peace and peace initiatives, then you're good to go. He has also echoed so much on the issue of household income. This is very important. We are going to talk of GDP, so the country is exporting that and that, but if people individually are not feeling it, it will not make a lot of sense. So if you insist on household incomes, that would be very good, and that is why I support these programs like PDM, much as it has been messed up in some places. So that's why I've always talked about monitoring and supervision. People bring in money, government brings in money through programs like PDM and all that, but there are a few individuals, agents, brokers who steal that money. I saw the president saying that they should start arresting, and he was so serious about these people, government officials stealing funds, like for PDM and youth livelihood, wealth creation,
yes,
and these industrial hubs. If this money was being put to good use, we would see the level of unemployment going down automatically. We would see the level of crime also going down, because some of these people commit crimes because they're unemployed, according to them. Wazo mchikona haria, I've said this severally, abaku mwenye chikona chepi tochomuruti. They are very good boys, some of them are educated, konkati bine mirumu. Hazo shanga, baba involved don't be intended to kushemera ninge bitari birunji. But if we bring some money, like 1M that they are giving through PDM, and you put it to good use, you can go somewhere. I've seen success stories so far. Someone tells you, I bought these goats and within this month I have this. I've been able to sell some and take my children back to school. That is very good. But if they keep stealing and we see them from office to another, it is like washing clothes and drying them in the sand. Then another issue is the issue of, like I said, employment, which came under PDM. This unemployment has to be sorted. I said here that it's not entirely bad to have our children go to the Middle East for jobs, because we have seen some of them getting some good things from there. But what mechanisms, I've said this severally, have you put in place as government to ensure that our children go and work under very good conditions, and when they work there they get what they're supposed to get? Because they're called agreements, whatever, trade agreements and employment, whatever, between different countries. What is there between Uganda and those Middle East countries? Because they need our labor, yes, but what do we get out of it? We get Some of these girls and boys have lost their lives. And what happens? You go and bury your daughter and that is all. So there should be justice through all this. Then there is an issue of...
after 40 years, you're still singing.
Over 100 years, I don't mind. I'm just talking about the manifesto for 2026. So there is another thing also. I don't support NUP, like I said, but Bobby Wine was somewhere. I don't know where. He also called upon his supporters to remain calm. I just liked that particular bit of it. If this is what he was doing all through, we wouldn't even see the chaos we had in last campaigns. I want to tell you that... I think you're going to have time. Why do you want to do it on the phone? No, why do you see,
Mr. Mpaka,
it is not Peter who told me to bring up that point. So it is not you to tell me to say what I want to say.
Yes.
It's my point, I said it. I said I don't usually credit Bobby Wine. But this time around, I liked the fact that he called upon his supporters to say they should keep calm. Now what is your
when
issue?
he said they should be violated.
Why should that
now
be
he
your-
has changed.
You know that is what they are. And when you credit Bob Wine, they get shocked because they think he doesn't deserve credit. That is your problem. Now, Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
there is there are people. You find that there are people who think that when the campaign is clean, then you have not gotten points. I saw some supporters of Mr. Mafabi. Much as for him, yes, he's a little bit polite and humble and a gentleman.
Yes.
But some of his supporters want to create scenes, for camera and all that. You want to fight with police. They are telling you don't pass through Makansing Street, for example, if you are in Mbarara, and you want to insist. When actually the person you claim to support does not want chaos. So for me, us as supporters, sometimes you are the people who bring problems. Even if it is President Museveni coming to Mbarara, and they tell you these numbers are very big, so some of you should take this route. Do that. Abide by that. I want to thank the spokesperson for NRM, Mr. Dombo. He was saying that at first they had planned that they give food to these people who come in for rallies. But the Electoral Commission came and said that was against the guidelines. And he said we stopped it. So for me, if NRM, the ruling party, the mass party, can abide by the guidelines of the Electoral Commission, what about these other parties? So we need a peaceful Uganda. We need Uganda as Ugandans, regardless of where we belong to, and politically. So we should really abide by that. And finally, I want to remind people that you see these flag bearers, presidential candidates. People believe in you. People believe. See, Bobi Wine supporters believe in him. President Museveni supporters believe in him, and other political leaders. So whatever you say carries a lot of weight in this country. If you call upon people to be peaceful, I think largely they will be peaceful. But if you want to show that things are not the way you want, and the only way you can do that is by causing chaos and all that, then they should deal with you. And so far, I want to credit the security personnel. They have done, I think, quite a recommendable job. They are being good where they're supposed to be. They have not applied a lot of force unnecessarily, and they are trying to cooperate with candidates, which is really very good. So for me, those people who say this police is this side and the army is supporting so and so, I think this time around they are looking for those excuses, and they are not anywhere to be seen.
Okay.
And finally, the environment is a little bit conducive, if you asked me. Generally, the campaigns are peaceful, and we pray that it remains like that till the end. So for me, it is a credit to all the candidates so far, and may you please remain like that. And for the opposition politicians, you don't have to be an icon of violence for you to be recognized as a political figure. We have just given an example of the late Raila Odinga in Kenya. He has been there fighting for all these years. He has been an MP, he has been a prime minister and all that. But he has never at any moment called upon his supporters to be violent. Remember in his speech when he was... after the elections in 22, he said, yes, we don't agree with what has come out, but we are not the people supposed to declare Mr. Chebukati as having been criminal or given wrong results. It is upon the courts of law to decide that. That was very good. And he ended up by calling his supporters remain calm as they wait for the results from the courts, and that's what the supporters did. So what you say as a leader carries much weight. Like I said, I want to repeat, carries much weight in the eyes of the supporters. Remain peaceful. Uganda is here today and tomorrow, whether these leaders are there or not. We need this country intact for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sifa Safi, for your submission and observation so far. We have a big team on Cruise TV. Kankunda Marvin is there listening from Nyabobare. Bushenyi, we have Derek Mann Echimiuka, we have Kamsime Osbat, we have Nwagaba Richard, we have Kamkama Joseph, Misa Chaland, Najrati, thank you, big sitters. Methodius Tumwebaze, thank you so much, is appreciating Sifa. Andrew Tumusime is saying, Uganda, we are in multi-party dispensation, so all parties are supposed to be funded as long as they qualify. Other parties have been funded, but is an issue on national unity platform. Jim Katurebe is saying, good morning, the big seat panelists. I'm streaming live from Bishop Stewart University. I thank Safi being analytical, rational, and objective. In her submission, always, whoever plays cards very right wins the game. Jordan Kalisa is saying, I'm listening from Buhweju. NUP, it's like someone who doesn't want to attend the party but wants to eat. Okay, let's do that. We come back.
It's a 10:30 a.m. Your local time check.
Okay, we are still on the big seat on 91.2 Cruise FM, and let me welcome Mr. Eria to take us through how have you so far observed the rallies of the presidential candidates.
Thank you so much, our uncle. I've been following the campaigns ever since they started, and I've read the manifestos of at least the leading candidates, and I've seen what is there. As Safi has just concluded, I also thank the candidates, because so far we have not seen violence, and that is commendable. That would give platform for the candidates to give out their manifestos and what they're going to do for the people. I must say, I've been impressed, aside of my candidates, I will talk about my candidate, but I've been impressed particularly with the Common Man's Party candidates. Orusania, Honorable Munyagwa. You know, maybe I may be conflict of interest because he was formerly from our party, but he is a candidate who has ideas. He's talking about the open door policy of Uganda, that anyone can just come in and start business tomorrow. You find an investor from India who is owning who is selling plastics. Now what is that? He is talking about withdrawing from the East African community, because according to him we have not benefited from that community. You may disagree, but at least there is a point. There are some candidates who have no points really, and yet back to my candidate. Let me now talk about my candidate. My candidate, he has been to all the regions of the country. He was in Eastern, yes, he was in Eastern, up to now he's in Eastern. He was in Western, Kasese, Bondibujo, Fort Poto. He was in Northern, Lira, Apache, those ends. So he has been to all the regions. And wherever he has been, it has been a success. It has been tremendous. Actually, to put it well, the time when a pastor like the one seated beside me here was preaching, and he was using English. So he had a translator. So when the pastor said, I am overwhelmed, the translator said, so as if this we have been overwhelmed really.
Okay.
I also didn't expect this kind of love we are seeing in the community. People are receiving our message very well, because our message, as I said in the beginning, resonates with the people.
Okay.
We are saying we are fixing the economy and we want to bring money into people's pockets. Sifa mentioned about the parish development model. For us, actually, we are going to make it a village development model. Because these people have been beneficiaries. NRM has been the biggest beneficiary of the good FDC ideas. They started with the famous graduated tax in 2001. They copied in our manifesto. They implemented it. In 2011, they copied the students' loan scheme. Was also our idea. In 2021, they copied the parish development model because it was our idea. So now for us, we are saying, our candidate is saying we are bringing it to the village. The 100 million is going to the village if our candidate wins. And we are saying we want to make Uganda, we want to make every Ugandan an enterprising person. We want to make Uganda an enterprising country so that we collect more taxes, more and more taxes, and we create employment to Ugandans and the economy booms. Because as I said in the beginning, Uganda's problems now are largely economic.
Yes.
We are not threatened by war, but economics. That's why Sifa was saying that there is insecurity in her area because... Okay, I didn't hear you well. But in this town, there is a lot of insecurity. If you walk at night, you have your phone, you may not go with it. The borders are crying every day because, students, young people are unemployed. The economy is doing badly as a unit. So we want to revive the economy. We want to make sure every Ugandan has an enterprise that pays taxes to the government. And also, our country is highly indebted. So we want, in our government, we shall not be dependent on borrowing. You see, first government all the time borrowing. Our time, we are going to make sure we widen the tax base. so that we can create our own taxes as a country and depend less on the borrowing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Creating making it a village model. I had one of the presidential candidates, Izit Kasbanti, said that he has a strategy of giving 200,000 to every unemployed youth in Uganda. I think Assistant LDC.
Thank you so much. I have tried to follow the campaign trail of all the candidates, and of course, as part of the security of this country, I have to follow up so that for any issues they can be addressed. And I want to note that from the previous years, 2001, 2006, 11, 16, 20, 21, security forces have always given these opposition parties a platform to shine. When they have withdrawn from restricting these people, Ugandans have known who indeed is a candidate to represent them, who indeed is not a candidate to represent them. I want to tell you and to the audience here, when you follow the campaign trails, some presidential candidates go to the rallies and fail to have something to tell to the audience. You recently saw a presidential candidate of the National Unity Platform saying that I have the most beautiful wife. When I am voted the president, she will always be on BBC and Al Jazeera, and they will be praising us for having the best first lady and the most beautiful first lady. Just imagine, that is the manifesto of a presidential candidate. Just simply because a platform no, it's on record.
Yes.
Give me a chance to talk. You will have a chance to talk.
Okay, let's have that feedback.
This RDC has been trained in extremism, and I think he is certified because his leader, whom he praises,
yes,
the CDF of Uganda's army, has been on Twitter tweeting that he hates bumless women and he's going to arrest all of them. His leader, General Kinerugaba, whom he praises, has been everywhere saying that his wife.
We are on the presidential candidate.
So when you go that side, you are trying to rob us. Yes, you're trying to rob us wrongly. I think let us stay on issues of national importance.
Okay.
Now back to the topic.
Yes.
of course, that was the manifesto. And I wondered, and even Ugandans outside here are wondering, because wherever they watch such videos, even, you know, when he fell down, he was saying something very rational, very disconnected with the reality. And of course, some people even said, you cannot lie to Ugandans when the spirits of virtues are still alive. So now back to our candidate of NRM.
Yes.
You see, we have had a long journey. Right from 1986. President Museveni found a corrupt nation full of instabilities, with high mortality rate, people dying below the age of 5 years, women dying in hospitals when they are giving birth, all that. And that's why immediately he came to power. He prioritized lives of Ugandans, made sure immunization programs are there, made sure those who are born go to UPE study. That's why you can see that when he came to power, the population of Uganda was 21 million. Currently, the population is shooting 51.5 million Ugandans. You know, as a land friend, you know factors responsible for population growth. When there are instabilities, when the mortality rate is high, when people are not receiving services, definitely they will be dying. So when you see Ugandans, the population growing, we have to give credit to the government.
Okay.
Secondly, we have seen the very many young Ugandans are crying for jobs. But these Ugandans cannot appreciate the fact that they did not die because the government provided favorable conditions for them to get born and even stay. Even again provided the favorable condition of UPE for them to attain education. That's why we have every year we graduate over 700,000 people, Ugandans out here, graduate from different disciplines, and they are all going out for jobs. That is a credit to the government, because people are able to born, people are able to attain education. Now, NRM government under the leadership of President Museveni is here saying now, our people, we have addressed the issue of health, we have addressed the issue of education, but we need to go back and tackle the household income to make sure at least even a graduate can go back and rear pigs and get money. By the way, in all developed countries, we need not to focus only on white collar jobs. That mindset has always affected our system, that all the graduates, wherever they get out, what they only look at are the white collar jobs. Now government is coming back and saying, please, with the population growth, if government can only employ around 36,000 Ugandans, those are the jobs the government has. And the people outside in the field who want jobs are over millions. Meaning we cannot all be absorbed by the government.
Okay.
But what do? Let's now start providing systems that can make sure employment is created. That's why you see in 1986 when the NRM government was coming here, Uganda was only producing 40 megawatts of electricity. Currently, Uganda is producing over 2,048 megawatts of electricity. What does this mean? It means now when these investors want to come here and invest, one of the factors they will look at is, will my factory have electricity? Yes, electricity is there because government has tried to generate enough electricity. We look at, is peace there? Now, they will come because Uganda is peaceful. So, thirdly, they will look at another factor. Is there the population to buy what I'm going to produce? Yes, the population of Uganda is growing very fast.
Okay.
Then another factor they will look at, are there roads? That's why you see, actually surprisingly, when you go in deep areas like in Mwizi, Rwampara, there, up there, in hills of Mwizi, you see people saying, now President Museveni, when he visits Rwampara, we want to request for a Tamaka road. Because they know the person they are going to request has a capacity. He has done it. You see, when you go in a deep village, in a remote area, you hear people saying, we want in this village electricity and pipe to water. Why? Because they have seen that water somewhere. They know the government in power has the capacity to provide that water because it has provided it.
How about these ones who are constructing roads with local hose and pangas?
Now, you see, like a home, even in our families, we cannot say everything is at par. That one is a lie. We come from different families, but we know. But progressively, that's why NRM has a strategic plan. That's why there was the National Development Plan 1, National Development Plan 2, National Development Plan 3. Now we are in National Development Plan 4. Each National Development Plan comes with its agenda to address the challenges at a time.
Okay.
If our main challenge that time was insecurity and the issue of insecurity was addressed, if a challenge at that time was addressing the issue of mortality rate and currently people are born and they don't die.
Okay.
Now what do we prioritize? Employment for the young people through attracting investment. You cannot attract investors when Uganda is at war. You cannot attract investors when you don't have electricity. You cannot attract investors when the roads are not being worked on. So that's why we have a steady progress and a steady plan NRM is following. And that's why you have seen it. From wherever President Museveni has gone, he began with West Nile sub-region. He has visited all the districts. But from wherever he has visited, he has been welcomed like an angel. Not just because I'm on air, you have seen it. Even the good thing is that the world has been reduced into our hands. We are on smartphone. You saw even what happened in Yumbe.
Okay.
People moved on roads almost 10 kilometers. Over 1 million people rallying behind the president, singing the hero, because that was the area that was greatly affected by Kony.
Okay.
And currently, the area is on a set of trajectory. See? So now you cannot bring the propagandist of Chaguranyandu to stop such a development.
Okay. I will get back to you. Mr. Mpaka is unsettled here.
No, definitely, I'm very unsettled because Musa Tukwatanise is doing a great job misleading the voters that are listening to us. But you'll give him credit because he's benefiting from the system. He's eating in a position that is unconstitutional. There is nothing like in our constitution something called assistant RDC of the assistant of the another assistant of the deputy. And so when he's eating so much, he has to say that.
Mr. Mpaka, you have a few minutes.
Of course, the leader, the voters know that you are unconstitutional in occupying that office of RDC. Number two, we know that the rallies of President Museveni have been failing school children and giving them yellow T-shirts. You saw the clips which we see on the news are full of secondary school children. Some even in school uniform. Some even in school uniform.
Wait. A second.
Okay.
On record, we saw Bob Wine on rallies bringing kids of 5 years, putting on national inter-platform gadgets, even military, which we stop. on rallies, we have seen it on record holding those kids.
But I
brief
think
on this.
Yes.
What has happened in regard to what he's saying is that some mothers have been coming with their kids, dressing them, babies, so they dressing them in NUP T-shirts because of the love.
Okay.
And they hand over the kid to Bobby Wine to bless the kid. And that's what and Bobby Wine has been blessing the child.
Okay.
So in just a minute, because I am not going to say much, amasanyarazi mugalaba. Amasanyarazi mugalaba Ugandans who want change.
You normally say that
Six phase.
Six
phase. Mugalaba. Yesterday you saw the president in Busia. People even came and surrounded the hotel where he was. So the love is there.
Okay.
Now, for me, I want to say one more statement and I close.
Okay.
Because our campaign is advocating against the injustice that has been meted on ordinary Ugandans. Abanya-Uganda, ababulizo, bakatera masinde, bakakura nkonya, bakumbera mwata.
Okay.
They are the ones, if you are in the category of Bwana RDC here, for you will not understand our campaign. If you're in the category, yes, if you're in the category of Sifa Safi here, who draws 7 million to from NRM to come and publicize, you will not understand our what? You will not understand. You hear she's saying it's not illegal.
Okay.
For a fact, let me say this. That you saw Bobby Wine, you saw Bobby Wine, my president Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, saying that a border in Uganda, in normal circumstances, should be costing between 2.5 million and 3 million. Actually, when you go to India, where these borders are purchased, the real price in India of this boxer is around 1.2 million. So if you add transportation and port at Mombasa clearing and then inland transportation, that's why it should come to 2.5 or 3 million. But Ugandans know that you're buying borders at 6 million. You're buying them at 5.8. And that even this government has given licenses to some companies that I may not mention here. And you are buying borders at 12 million. And when you have paid 11 million and you are about to finish clearing the border, it is stolen from you.
Okay.
So it is that constituency that for us we are addressing.
Okay.
That you guys, let us vote change. If you know your land was grabbed and taken away by some big soldier, this time vote change. If you know you got hospital and you don't find medicines, vote change.
Okay.
If school fees is in your neck, vote change. And people of Mbara City North, vote Peter Mpaka. He will advocate for these issues that are affecting you. Okay. And still remember, I'm serious on the issue of my nomination. Please support me. You can send me 10,000. You can send me 1 million. I need money to be nominated. The number is 0777 6896 92. Even the Airtel one is available. 0756 5699 77. Okay. I've been on cruise here and I've been on cruise, by the way, and I also want to appreciate the management for giving me 5 years coming here to speak free of charge. They have supported me a big time.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Cruise FM.
Kari, before I come back to you, Ndugu Mujisha, let me first speak this caller. Caller, Cruise FM, hello?
Hello, Uncle Sarapio.
Yes, Sebo.
Well done, man.
Thank you for listening.
This is Gita Sagaba, and I'm from Chito Rentuha. As usual, Bushenya at large is presented. Now, I liked the way.
Yes.
And that to that is so-called RDC. I wanted to inform him that Laila Odinga was arrested, was in prison for 9 years. When President Daniel Arap Moi wanted to amend the constitution, by president. After all, Moi knew what he has done to Daniel to Laila Odinga with him, and I didn't wanted him to compare Uganda to Kenya. Kenya is the politics of Kenya is very far away from Uganda, because remember, I want you Musa Twatan Senyendo Izukaka Rukiz Namshang Aka Uhuru Chinyata Baka Maranjira Kamparom State House na Kaseru kuyahereze kumanya yakoze Raila Odinga mu Uganda ha mukacho basa.
Okay.
Mu Uganda ha mukacho basa. In fact nani mpuranka nkamusa tupasuse ninye yongera yo kutamwa NRM konka hakija nkasifa sasa
urawate bikana. Okay, Ndugu Mugisha, we have 1 minute to end the show. Your last submission and the last word on the show.
Thank you very much, Bwana Sarapio, and the listeners and panelists as well. The campaign trail is going on well, and from the Alliance for National Transformation side, we are glad that we have been able to reach the people this time around. Unlike the first time when it was COVID, this time we have had an opportunity to reach the people. And I want to say this, the message is the same all through. Our manifesto is a homestead based manifesto, because at the Alliance we believe that meaningful development starts from the homestead, and that is what we are pledging to the citizens all through. And like my colleagues have mentioned, we have not had on our trail, we have not had instances of hooliganism.
Okay.
We have not had instances of confrontation with the security, and but we have faced the real challenges the people are going through, particularly the roads. We have had instances, I think you have seen on WhatsApp, where our president has had to get out of the vehicle to push in some places, especially like this side of Uganda, this side of Buhweju, and so these are the real issues that we are facing with the people. And our pledge or our promise is that our vision as in this campaign is not merely to govern, but to serve.
Lastly,
not merely to occupy government positions, but to spearhead real transformation of the country. Not merely to promise, but to deliver. This is our promise and our pledge. And for those that are interested, and we also, as a political party, we also appreciate that political stability is essential for progress. And because of that, we think that for peaceful and principled transition, it is only ANT that is going to solve this.
Thank you.
Just my parting shot on this is that let Ugandans not be deceived about the issue of peace. Peace is not just the absence of war, but rather the presence of justice. Do we have justice in our country? You, Ugandan, whose land has been grabbed, do you have justice when you want to get that land back? You, who has taken children to the public school, have you found justice there by way of having children get the quality education that they deserve? This is what guarantees peace in our environment.
Thank you.
As Alliance, that is what we are looking for.
Thank you.
We need to be given an opportunity and then assure you of a peaceful transition.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We don't want to exceed here. We are getting into the time of African countdown. No. We shall get back to the big seat next week. Time is over. I'm very sorry about that, but next week we shall get back on the big seat. This is Uncle Sarapio from me and the team Creative Media. We say have a blessed weekend.